US-Russia relations are so poor that only a summit can sort them out, Putin's spokesman says. Russian President Vladimir Putin is going to Geneva, Switzerland, not merely to appear on the same platform as US President Joe Biden, but because the poor state of relations between both countries demands a summit, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told CNN in an exclusive interview on Friday. The main reason for him to go is the poor state of the relationship between our two countries, and a critical level of this relationship that demands a summit between our two countries because this is the only way to prevent further degradation of our dialogue, Peskov told CNN. Next week's high-stakes summit in Geneva comes as relations between both nations hit recent new lows in the first few months of the Biden administration. The U.S. announced sweeping sanctions in April, punishing Moscow for its interference in the 2020 U.S. election, its ongoing occupation and severe human rights abuses in Crimea, and the SolarWinds cyber attack, one of the worst data breaches to ever hit the U.S. government. Russia's ambassador to the U.S. Anatoly Antonov was recalled from Washington after Biden called Putin a killer in March. U.S. Ambassador to Russia John Sullivan left Moscow after Russia suggested he return to Washington for consultations. Biden told a hangar of U.S. troops on Wednesday he was in Europe to defend the very concept of democracy and warned his Russian counterpart that he planned to raise touchy issues during their chat. "I'm headed to the G7, then to the NATO ministerial and then to meet with Mr. Putin to let him know what I want him to know," Biden said. "This is why the summit will be a very good opportunity to air both countries' concerns," Peskov said Friday. He also accused the U.S. of freezing dialogue between the two countries over the past 5 to 7 years, in all the fields, including the vital fields for both our people and even for humankind, like the fight with terror, attacks with climate change, economic cooperation, cooperation in vaccines, in the pandemic. They refuse to cooperate with us in combating digital crime, and so on and so forth. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told CNN Vladimir Putin is ready to participate in a joint press conference or hold one of his own in Geneva. Putin is not expecting a joint press conference at the end of the summit, but he is ready for one, Peskov said, adding that negotiations were continuing on the final format of the summit and no final decision has been reached, he said. Last week, Putin said he was not expecting a breakthrough in relations following the summit. As to reports that Biden and Putin will not hold a joint press conference, Peskov said they have heard about such a possibility from our American counterparts, but we are still waiting for final confirmation. Since the very beginning, President Putin has been open to any alternatives, Peskov added. For Biden, the Geneva summit aims to facilitate a more stable and predictable diplomatic relationship with Russia.